I hope you're having a wonderful day. So, one of the things that we do on our health program is look into bettering ourselves, personal development, and then, of course, coaching. That even comes more into play, where we really want to develop ourselves and create more value for others through what we're doing. So one of the big eye-opening things that I've been learning is just about perspective and how often our perspective is skewed. Our perspective comes from everything that we've lived through. I love the lesson youth pastor that I worked with a while back, Lyndon Haynes. Some of you may know him. He did this lesson where he put, love on a projector, and then he started putting on top of that self-abuse. He put on maybe friends at school. He put on, and he started putting all these other words on top of it. So pretty soon you couldn't even see the foundation that was under there. One of the ways that I talk about it sometimes is my rose-colored glasses. Well, what color of perspective do you have because of what you've lived through? Some people have very, very, very dark glasses. Some people have rose-colored glasses. Some people have gold-shadowed glasses. Some people have lavender-colored glasses. So our perspective is created by the things that we've learned, the things that we've lived through, and it's not always the same, and we have to be really mindful that other people don't come from the same place that we come from. And in this world where we spend a lot of time in Messenger and in text and in a little bit of email still, so a lot of that, we have to be very mindful of the fact of where is their heart coming from. I had something come across just recently, and instead of just getting my feelings hurt, I asked the question, so can you explain that to me? Because so often when people say something, it doesn't come across exactly how they meant it. And if we just say, oh, well, they this or they that, or they thought this or they were being that way, it doesn't really serve anyone. We want to really just stop and ask the question before you decide what they're really thinking. I think that this has been such a powerful tool. One of the very, very first things that I learned years ago about dealing with people was, if you're gonna make up a story about what they're thinking, such as you run into somebody at the grocery store and they turn the other way and head out the door, if you're gonna make a story about what they were thinking, get in there and change that story around to be a positive story. Say, oh my gosh, she didn't have her hair done today and she was embarrassed, and oh my gosh, I wish she wasn't embarrassed. Instead of, oh, well, do you see how she turned away and walked away? She didn't want to run into me because she doesn't like me, or she this or she that. So if we change those stories around, because most generally we want those, we turn those stories into something negative about us. It's all about perception most of the time, and I'll bet you it's a high 95% most of the time. Those are wrong. We don't know what somebody else is thinking. Me personally, I know that if I ignore somebody, it's probably because I've got tunnel vision. I am a person that heads for what I'm doing, and I do it. I love it when somebody grabs my arm and says, hey, look at me, how are you doing? But I really don't mean to ignore people, or I have the worst memory and I don't have the best, I truly don't mean anything by it if I don't say hi, or if I don't recognize you right at first. So I don't ever want anybody to think that of me. So have any of you guys run into that before? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Be really careful of your perceptions, whether it's in text or messenger, or whether it is just our perception of what somebody's thinking about us. Because more than likely, they're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about us. And if we could turn that into more positive in the world, could you imagine what this world would look like? Could you imagine if we would confront those things? A lot of times all we need to do is confront it, because somebody will explain, no, that's not where they were coming from. So yeah, I just think it would be a much more beautiful world if we would recognize other people's perspective, because we really don't know what they have lived through. There are a lot of things in this world that I have not lived through and I don't understand. But if I'm willing to ask the question and hear their story, I'll see why they would think this way or they would think that way. So anyways, thanks for listening to me today. This has just been such a growth in my life and in my journey, and in finding out who I am and helping myself be more healthy mentally. And it truly is one of those aspects that is very important. So, all right, I will talk to you all soon. I would love to hear comments about what you think about this. I would love to hear questions. I'd also love, put hashtag replay if you come in to watch the replay, or hashtag value if you find value in this. Hashtag, what color glasses are you wearing? So I hope that you all have rose-colored glasses and that you have the most beautiful day.